Okay, today's kind of a slow day, so I'm gonna shoot some videos. First one I'm doing, dun dun dun. This is Last Ninja Standing. It's written about Ashita Kim. Not everything written in here is Ashita Kim's. What I'm talking about by that is you have a preface here by Andre Leffler, who is the Black Dragon Fighting Society's ninjutsu representative in Germany. And it's it goes on to there's actually the first chapter of this again by Andre, which is talking about his experiences with the Black Dragon Fighting Society under Ashita Kim. Now, then there's excerpts here from various books of Ashita's, talking about various weapons and such. One of these nice little additions is the Cloak of Invisibility. The use of a cape as a distraction, kind of a weapon, if you will. Which is actually really interesting. There's a lot of some stuff in here about how Ashita Kim got his name. Of course, how Ashita Kim met Count Dante. Very much in Ashita Kim's own words. Sections on this, the infamous training of the I forget their name, but the Blackstone Rangers in Chicago as defenders for the Democratic National Convention, and yet here's file footage of that very same thing. Of when they were teaching karate to people to be able to defend themselves at the protest. And this this whole little mention in here then actually comes from Floyd Webb, the guy who did the documentary on Count Dante. Then you have the Kana Dante, a demonstration of it by Ashita Kim. A lot of pictures. A lot of stuff on here discussing the various the history of the Black Dragon, how Ashita Kim was granted permission to go ahead and use the name Black Dragon Fighting Society, how he was trying to keep it going in honor of John Keane, and how some of the original students who actually trained under Keane had allowed him to keep going with it. How they originally were kind of objected to it, but then decided not to. And various, various statements. A statement by Grandmaster Lawrence Day. Right here. So it's a pretty interesting thing. They get into a lot of the trolling and BS that came from martial arts, and you get a very good inside look at the politics of martial arts. There's various ninja stealth techniques mentioned by Grandmaster Ashita Kim. There's a section in here called the Best Kept Secret about Ashita Kim, written by none other than Frank Dukes himself, which is a very interesting book in and of itself. Gets in here mentioning a lot of things that I didn't even know was going on, things were going on before my time. And, here's, a picture of Vic Moore and Bruce Lee before, at the Long Beach Karate Championships, August 1964. Grandmaster Moore and Frank Dukes sparring at a hotel at the Nashville Hall of Fame in 2009. I mean, excerpts describing, why the $10,000 challenge was set up. Going into, it's just amazing. You get in here talking about how a lot of the martial arts is political. How a lot of the politics of martial arts is driven by business. That's something I've talked about a lot myself. And you get in here and you get to see how a lot of guys were just ignored or sidetracked or just out and out, harassed. I mean, torn down. And it's not just Ishida Kim, it's a great deal of others. And one of the things about this I love is there's a copy in here, an image of a certificate. This was given to a certain person who did an expose on the Black Dragon, which went about stating that they were fake and they were a belt mill giving out fake certificates. And one of the copies of one of these fake certificates to own a franchise for the Black Dragon Fighting Society, which is really interesting, is the Chinese script going down the sides of the banner where it says Black Dragon Fighting Society and such. Actually, if you turn it sideways, and this is a good example, you can see it right here. When you turn it sideways, it actually reads, "Go fuck yourself." So the idea was that they give this guy a bogus certificate, and he's jumping up bragging about how, he's finally tricked them. And they've proven they're a belt mill, and yet they gave him a certificate that was completely bogus, that anyone with, half a brain is going to look at. And even if you kind of tilt your head to the side, looking at the whole thing, be like, wait a minute, your certificate says go fuck yourself. I mean, it's really an awesome little prank certificate. By the way, I want one of these, just to have. It would just be funny as hell. That way I can say, I have a go fuck myself gag certificate. In fact, I think we should sell these on the website as gag certificates. And, a lot of what, there's stuff in here mentioning a lot of the different people at different times, copies of letters between, copies of transcripts between letters, this is before the internet, between Ishida Kim and Stephen Hayes. I mean, this is a really interesting book. It outlines a lot of the, not only the harassment and a lot of the double dealings in the martial arts community, especially the professional publication side of it, but also, these little feuds between martial artists and how it's just drama, almost like professional wrestling, to get people involved and get them, to think they're into something bigger than what it is, and really it's all workmanship. And if you're not from a professional wrestling term, what they call their work is, that putting out and showing this big, these big false bravados, these characters who hate each other and everything else, but in real life they're sitting in the back and, smoking cigarettes and drinking beer together for their bouts. And even then, even with all the stuff mentioned in here, there's, even just for not just for all these things which has occurred, but you also get in here to this, we get into things like Mock, which has very detailed charts pointing out these alarm points and target points and such to actually be able to affect a person's anatomy. And then you turn around right after learning that, and you can see I'm flipping through the book towards the back of it, and you get into the various qigong and natural meditative ways of relieving headaches and migraines, relieving stress, using these same alarm points, which is used to inflict harm, to actually heal. Um, and using, the acupressure on yourself. Uh, Treatments for anxiety. I mean, it's the amount of knowledge in here isn't just limited to, hey, here's the politics, here's the way the martial arts world is, here's how certain people done the deal. It also includes a great deal of information that would be useful to anybody. In fact, I would suggest for anyone really interested in Shidokim and understanding, a lot of the politics and why people talk shit about them the way they do, to, buy this book. I would also highly recommend this because the amount of knowledge in this, even without all the stuff showing the double dealings and the politics and everything else of the professional martial arts market, and that's exactly what it is, a market. Not only does it give you that inside look into the marketplace, but even when you look away from it, you're talking about a great deal of knowledge. In and of itself, the kata dante, the short form kata dante, which is a highly effective system of self-defense, understanding it, being able to apply it for self-defense applications, stealth, basic stealth movements, how to use a blanket or a cloak, a cape, or whatever, as a form of distraction screen. Which also, hey, you don't have to be Batman. I wear a trench coat. I'll have the same stuff that actually work in my trench coat. Getting in here and understanding, a great many things, including how the martial arts community works, that stealth and infiltration stuff, right alongside the healing, and even getting into historical information on ninjutsu, which has now been brought to light thanks to people like Anthony Cummings. And you get in here talking about, what some people might consider this big grand conspiracy of the martial arts market. Well, it's nothing more than what Shidokim refers to as the old boy network. One guy protecting his buddy, and, that's in and of itself. But you get into the idea of using blinding powders and, basically the anatomy of a person's neck, so you can go all MMA on their ass, choke them out. And then you also have the application of being able to revive them right here on the following pages. So it's not just being able to choke someone out, but being able to revive them. I mean, the amount of knowledge in this is just amazing. There's not really a whole lot that I can get into without giving all of it away, but it's just absolutely amazing the amount of information that's put in here, not only as a training manual, but as a documentary for, a great many different things, which, would be effective for anyone in the interest of wanting to learn ninjutsu technically wise. Wanting to learn martial arts, because what this goes into is just, it actually shows applications of things like strategy, like Sun Tzu's Art of War and Musashi's Gorin Sho in the marketplace, and basically how Shidokim has become the last ninja standing. How he's basically lasted out all these years, regardless of all the trash talk and the people that's gone through all these steps to try to bash him and tear him down. How he's still survived through all these years, simply by the merit of what he does, not by any sort of affiliation or special credence to owing it to anyone else's, deals or any sort of favors. Just toughing it out and doing it himself. It's very hard to define the book, because as much as it's a training manual, it's a documentary as well.